and welcome. You're tuning in to Unbreakable Hope with me, your host, Jessica Rose. This podcast is all about seeking the light. In each episode, we chat with someone who has either overcome the darkness or who is actively spreading light within their own community. So let's jump into today's episode. Today's special guest is Natalie, and we have a lot more in common than just being a petite figure and competing in pageants. Natalie has a great story that she's going to be sharing on all the simple ways that she started helping her community, and I hope you stay tuned because it's really important for you to understand why underwear is such a hot topic for us today. Trust me, you're going to learn something from today's episode, so let's dive in. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm super excited to be able to have this conversation. We met through pageants, but we have a little bit more in common, and I can't wait to dive into your story and all the amazing things you're doing. So I'm going to turn it over to you so you can introduce yourself to our audience, and we'll get started with our chat.
Awesome. Thank you. So my name is Natalie Michiels. I am currently Mrs. Wisconsin Petite 2026. When we met, I was Mrs. Wisconsin 2024 Petite. Let's see. I am the creator of S.O.D.A, which stands for Support Outfits Drives Awareness for Survivors of Domestic Violence. I also have a YouTube channel called Petite Professionals. I work as a visual merchandising coordinator. I'm going back to school right now to get my master's in clinical mental health, and I'm a mom and a wife, and that's really all I have time for.
I love that so much, though, that all the different hats or crowns that we wear, and a lot of it is very family and community oriented, right? So I love your organization. When you were talking about it, like you said, it was over a year ago when we met. And I'd love to tell a little bit more about your organization and some of the amazing things that you've already been doing with it.
Thank you. Okay, yes. All right. So I'm going to take you from the beginning. So I grew up and I had a challenging childhood, we'll say, and I experienced homelessness for a few months. I, as an adult now, wanted to give back and be someone that could help someone in a situation that was similar to mine, because my story is not rare. It's pretty common. And I started to volunteer at a local domestic violence shelter called Harbor House in Appleton. And I did childcare. So when the parent would need to do laundry or go to therapy, something just for like a couple hours, I would watch the children. And it was all right, but it kind of brought back some memories and stuff, and it was kind of hard for me. And I was like, okay, I want to do something, but this is obviously not the right fit for me. And I started thinking, like, I love shopping. I love clothes. So I started doing drives to help with clothes, and I partnered with Community Clothes Closet, and they provide free clothing for people in need. And they told me that they do this thing called Cool for School, where they provide used underwear, 3 pairs of pants, 5 shirts, and gym shoes for each kid. And when I found out they were doing used underwear, it broke my heart. I was like, every kid deserves their own new underwear. So I started doing undie fundies, and then that kind of evolved into S.O.D.A, Support Outfits Drives Awareness, because like I personally cannot do childcare. It just wasn't a good fit for me. There's all different ways to get involved. Like for me, I love hosting a drive. I love like cold calling and planning a party. It's fun for me. But there's different ways, like even they need like lawn care or someone to work the front desk. There's so many ways to get involved, and that's what my main purpose with S.O.D.A is, to show people the different ways they can get involved, even just like sharing a post, because a lot of people don't know that there's domestic violence shelters in their city and what all they offer for people.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. Is there is so many resources, but even just getting the courage to go to the resources and understanding what they offer. And also, not to dig on resources, but a lot of the work that I've done too is that sometimes we get caught in this, like, this is what I do, therefore I can't help you with these other things, and forgetting to connect people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the greatest ways of connecting people is respecting them as a human. And like you said, the used underwear, I was just like, what? Like,
Right.
could you imagine? Like, that's just, to me, as getting your own, like, it's just, I don't know, I'm like speechless and appalled at the same time. Like, but that basic level of human decency and respect of saying, you're in need and you need help. Here's some fresh underwear that is your own. Because
Mm-hmm.
also, like, I'm thinking like hygiene stuff and like health stuff and just like all the things. But basic level of respecting a human being can go a long, long way. And also that self recognition that you're, hey, I want to help, but this isn't a good fit for me, but I still can help. And here's some other ways that I can help and put my skill sets to use is really cool to see that you navigated through that, knowing that you still had a passion to want to be able to help, just finding the right fit for you.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's, like you said, everyone has different skill sets. And I like shopping and finding a good deal. But what you were saying about the underwear too is like my aunt is she works, I'm forgetting her official title, but she is in charge of people of helping resources for people that are homeless. So when the city gets money, she helps delegate where it goes, and she does a lot of different programs. And her and I were talking about the underwear drives, and she's like, think about the individuals that have had like sexual trauma, like having used underwear. So just there's many aspects to it, and yeah, I'm glad that people are willing to donate and get them those new underwear.
Yeah, that's a whole nother understanding of trauma and how it affects people. I worked in a program that helped veterans who were homeless and trying to connect to different resources to see what does that individual person need and what can really benefit them to move forward. And I think there's so many misconceptions and misunderstandings left and right. One thing that really bothers me is when people are making legislation or they're I don't want to say protesting. That's not quite where my mind is at, but they're advocating against
Sure.
certain things, right? And they have zero experience either being homeless or actually going to the people who work in the field or going and volunteering for some of these existing organizations to see what is it like, where are the actual gaps in care? Because there are, right? We can't say that there's not. There definitely is. And I technically, per definition, like even when I say this, I kind of laugh about it. Is someone had to point this out to me? Is I was technically homeless for maybe like a couple months. It was when I was transitioning out of the Marine Corps. I was sleeping in my car. I got out medically, so I just kind of didn't really know when my ES was, and eventually I joke that, well, God clearly forced me back home to Oklahoma because my parents were here, and I'm so grateful because I had two parents that were still are extremely supportive, very stable, had an environment that I felt safe and able to go back to. And that's another thing that people don't think about is I know that that's where I have such a blessing in my life. But if I didn't have them, what would that have looked like, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's another thing too is people that go to a shelter. I don't know the exact percentage off the top of my head, but I want to say it's like 60 to 70%. It's not planned. So when they're going, they're leaving. So there's a domestic violence shelter in Oshkosh called Christine Ann's. I'm actually doing something with them this week. They are a shelter that has pets. Because think about it, if you're leaving, so they're doing like a pet food drive. So I'm going to drop off some stuff there. But you know what I mean? Like if something happens and you escape out of the house, you don't have toothbrush. Like just basic stuff. And so many people leave in a spur of a moment. And that's where I know, like, people just need to understand a little bit more about the topic to have a little bit more empathy on the situation.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Especially in cases like you're talking about is when people become homeless because they're fleeing a bad situation, especially in domestic violence cases. Pets are a great example. I talk about this in my suicide prevention work is pets sometimes are someone's significant relationship, and it's a barrier. We even see that in the Medical Reserve Corps. It's a barrier for someone to seek care and seek shelter if they have a pet and their pet isn't welcome. So I love that you have a domestic violence shelter that says, hey, we welcome you and your furry loves.
Yes.
You know what? More places I think should be like that. I mean, hell, here in Oklahoma City, you know, all bars are dang near dog friendly now. Like, who can we?
Same here, up here. No, I totally agree. Like, it's like growing up, I had a pet cat, Harry, and that was like my brother. You know what I mean? They're part of the family, so I totally get it. But I've been able to partner with, I was counting up today. I've been able to partner with, let's see, 43 domestic violence shelters in 16 states and then one in Canada.
That is so amazing.
Thank you.
I'm so excited.
It just, when I competed at Petite USA in 2024, I have only had 9 states at the time, and it's grown, and it just kind of happened. I wasn't really planning for a particular number. So yeah, it worked out with being able to find shelters that are like a good fit and have an urgent need list that I can help out with.
That's awesome. So if there was a shelter that's listening to this or someone who works at one or can connect you to one, what would be the best way for them to connect with you? We can add all the links and stuff in the bio below, but do they like apply or how does that process work?
Thank you. Yes, perfect question. So I have an Instagram page dedicated for it. So it's the S.O.D.A Club. And I'll give you the link. And then I tried to hashtag everything the S.O.D.A Club and then at the S.O.D.A Club just to keep all of it together. But yeah, if anyone just messages me the urgent need list, I typically will post, like if it's local, for example, I've been like last year we did a big winter drive and I had just tons of mittens and gloves and I had people just drop it off at my house. So if you are in Wisconsin, please message me any urgent needs. If you're out of state, I will mail stuff. It's typically like a box, a decent sized box. But yeah, at the S.O.D.A Club, I have that on my Instagram and I go on there often.
Awesome. And maybe that's something that we could even partner with here too. It's been a little bit since I've done any drive specifically for the homeless population or domestic violence shelters, but definitely a need, as you already said, across the US and even trickling into Canada. That's so exciting that you're able to change so many lives by just giving back when you can.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I know that we met at Petite USA, and you're actually going back this year to Petite USA. So I'm really excited to see you grow and shine and be able to bring more light to S.O.D.A. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to?
With Petite, oh my goodness, I am so excited to be back. I had to take a year off. So my husband and I finished our Airbnb, and then I started grad school. And it was a lot. We just both agreed, like, because it's definitely, as a married woman, it's a team effort. And I wanted to make sure that he was on board and excited. And so for this year, I'm excited to continue growing at S.O.D.A. and I'm excited. I have Petite Professionals, which I'm very grateful that you'll be a guest on. So I'm going to continue working on that. And then for me, I love doing appearances, and if I could, I would say yes to everything. But I've learned that every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So for me, when I do appearances, I try to make sure it's something that ties in to S.O.D.A. or it's something to help out a sister queen. And that's kind of how I decide what appearances I can do. But I think when I was Mrs. Wisconsin Petite 2024, I did, I think, 83 appearances. So I wanna try to up it a little bit more.
And I love that that's what you're looking forward to, is like being able to raise awareness about the amazing work you're already doing and then partnering with other women across the US who are also doing amazing work. That's something that I love the same thing, getting able to meet other women who are doing amazing work in their communities. And often that stems from our personal experience. Like you shared a little bit earlier, it's just something that has happened to us and we just want to make life better for other people. World peace, right?
Yeah.
I kind of laugh about it, but I'm like, ultimately, like, we all want better, right? For those people out there who want to stay in the darkness and other people that have darkness, like, they need a lot of light to see through whatever darkness is eating at them to have that thought. I think that kind of also ties into your degree that you're getting as well. You're graduating soon, right? Like,
no, so I have, okay, so I'm starting my third semester and I will be graduating in 2027. So I have my first residency this spring, and then next year I'll have my other residency, and then I jump right into internships. And then once I'm done with my 2 internships, I'll graduate. So yeah, it's coming up.
I think when we talked about it, maybe I got it mistaken for you getting to start your residency, which is really exciting as well. Is there a certain niche that you're looking forward to being able to explore more with your degree?
So when I applied, you can go into school counseling, marriage and family, or you can do more of a general studies, which is clinical mental health. So I selected clinical mental health. I don't know, like I'm just I have a child, so obviously I know how to talk to him and connect to him, but I was an only child, and as a kid, I always wanted to hang out with the adults and the older kids. So I feel like I don't connect very well to kids, but I want to like challenge myself and not, I don't want to put myself in a box, but I want to be able to work with, I mean, ideally 18 to 103. But I just took a class called Theories and Approaches, where you're learning about theories and approaches. And I really love narrative therapy. It's there, you can work in art with that, and there's a lot of owning your story, right? So what you talk about, what stories you share with people really forms your perspective. So I have already started looking into what agencies near me practice narrative therapy. I'm not going to just do narrative therapy, but I really want to be able to dabble with that a little bit. So I'm going to focus on adults.
That's so great because there's so many different niches that you can go with that degree and different subcategories to categories as it is. But I love that you recognize that and you're like, you know what, that's not for me. This is for me. And narrative therapy is really great because there's so many different options out there. People think of therapy often as the very, stereotypical what you see on TV. There's a couch, there's a chair, you talk, time's up, see you next week kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And there's so many options out there. One cool thing I was doing with my husband, so my husband has brain cancer, and he's been nonverbal for over 3 years now. But what we did, we were trying alternative things. I'm like, well, we do music therapy. Like you're saying, like art therapy. So music therapy specifically, what was cool to see is she would do breathing exercises with my husband, but that was good for the apraxia, getting the mouth to move around. But she also would sing with him. And for the longest, the speech therapist was trying to get Andrew to sing songs because that's how we learn like our ABCs and all the basic stuff. No. But something clicked and finally he wanted to start singing. So it was great. I would tell the music therapist, hey, this is kind of the music he likes. These are things he's working on, like the Pledge of Allegiance and the Star Spangled Banner. When Carrie Underwood sang the Star Spangled Banner, it was America the Beautiful. Anyway, Andrew sang along like every word, and I'm just staring at him like, what is this? He couldn't say any of that outside of it. But it was cool getting to see how this therapy was also beneficial to him, but in a different way, like a non-intended way. So that was one of the things where the music therapist was like, well, I've never done this before, but I'm willing to try it. And it was really cool. Eventually, Andrew just got really annoyed with it, to be honest.
Well, no, that's awesome that you guys are like willing to try different things and it had some positive. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I think that's with anyone with therapy or trying to better themselves is it is trying these different things. and seeing, okay, well, what works, what doesn't work. And I like to say it's flavors of ice cream. So even if you've been to traditional therapy, chair, couch,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that wasn't the right flavor for you. And oftentimes, when we're seeking out help, we're already at the bottom of our bucket. So using energy to have to seek out more help is very difficult. But
Mm-hmm.
just as kind of a reminder, I mean, I know it's also a passion of yours too, is mental health, is reminding people that, hey, take another chance, take another shot. Don't give up just because it didn't work once or it didn't work with that one person. And just trying to find the flavor of ice cream, because there's so much in life that can bog us down, but
Mm-hmm.
there's so much out there that can actually lift us up.
For sure. And it's like any relationship, right? Like you think about when you're in school, there were certain teachers you liked better. There's certain personalities that click better. And so that's a big part is during that consultation, just make sure that, you feel comfortable and the therapist, that's one of their jobs is to try to make sure that you feel safe and comfortable and not judged and just an open place to share. And so I don't know. I'm really excited to keep learning and be able to do it. But one of the reasons why I decided to go back to school, there's two reasons. One is pageantry gave me the confidence to do it. I I was I was an art student. I went to school for art. I got a minor, so I got my degree is a bachelor's in art, and then my minor is in advertising. And I love art, and I love being creative. I always did well in creative writing, like those types of classes. I typically didn't do so well in math and science classes. So I never really applied myself to it because I just kind of in my head was like, well, I'm not good at it. And then with pageantry, you put yourself out there. You try and you put time and energy and you see the results, and it gives you this confidence to try more things. And so I've always thought about being a counselor. And my second thing was my current role. I work with right now I have 14 stores, and there's a lot of people in each store that I work with, and there's such a wide variety of personalities. Like I have my youngest team leader, I think she's 21, and my oldest team leader, I think she's in her 70s. So it's just, and they all come from different backgrounds, and some of them come to me and share certain parts of their life, and I'm not the right person to give them any suggestions or listen to some of the things. So I typically direct them to where they can go. But I realized, okay, these people feel comfortable talking to me. What can I do with that, and how can I be of service to them? And that's another thing with pageantry is I feel like women that have a servant's heart lean into pageantry, and that's another thing that attracts me to pageants is it's hard to make friends as an adult like someone that has like values like and
Mm-hmm.
with pageantry, like another thing with Petite USA is like you plot me in the middle of a bunch of amazing women that have are goal oriented, that are achieving awesome things in their community. It's just like a plethora of friends.
Yeah, I literally told somebody it's like a networking event, and Petite USA feels very much like an alumni group, right? Is you're going back and you get to see if you are a returning queen, right? You get to see some of the people you met before, but it's a perfect networking opportunity and being able to support each other and grow each other. And I love that you felt encouraged by that, and then having those personal experiences of that wide range of people that work with you is just cool to bring all that together and then feeling truly supported. I think that's I know that a lot of my guests have been in pageants, and it's kind of a reoccurring theme is everyone's saying all these great things about pageants, and there's just this misconception. But I think that's really one of the best ways to say it is it's a sisterhood, it's a networking, it's a way to find adult friends, because it is hard. It's so hard to find people who have similar values and ways of thinking. And I love that you said that, even like the goal oriented piece, right? Is that's something is you don't know, like when you go out with all of your free time, right? because who has a lot of free time
You
anyway?
know.
To try and make bonds, it really is a cool experience.
Yeah, it's so hard. Like you ask me, like, okay, tell me about yourself. I'm like, I don't have time to like go meet people. Pageants is where I meet people,
Yeah.
and you know when you don't have a ton of free time, you want to spend time with people, you know, where you have a connection and it'll be, you know, meaningful conversations, and you feel like you're. I don't know. The older I get, it's more like I gotta use my time wisely. And with pageants too, it's like I just everyone's like going after a goal, and with Petite, everyone was so kind, and it was just such a warm environment. And like I came back last year to watch you girls, and it was so much fun. But the whole time I was like, oh man, I want to be in an evening gown and. And I think one thing that would someday it would be cool if like in between us changing if they played snippets of our interview, right? Like
Yeah.
to because I think that's one thing too is like my husband when I got back into pageantry as a missus, he had no idea that there was platforms.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, it's much more than the glitter, but the glitter is nice.
Well, and that's true too, is it's a great way to really be able to get to know all of the different contestants. So that was one thing. It's really hard for my husband to travel. So my family, we had a little watch party here. And when they're trying to guess like who's going to be in the top 10, you know, who's going to be in the top 5, right? They don't get to see the interview. Mm-hmm. And you hear a lot like pageants are won in the interview. Just don't screw it up on stage, right?
Right. Right.
So that's where it's hard is that when people are watching the live stream, they don't get to hear, I guess, the personality. They don't get to hear the story. And trying to convey your personality through walking and what you're wearing is a bit tough. It's tough.
Right. Think about it. Okay, so you walk out in sorry, I almost said team sports. That's a department of clothing we have at work. So you walk out in activewear, and you're on stage for what? 30 seconds? You go out in your evening gown, 30 seconds. So you're on stage competition-wise for like a minute.
Yeah. And it goes so fast, so fast. I mean, the interview feels fast too. The pageant that I just did, our interviews are pre-recorded, which I felt was actually worse because I'm like, well, now that like, oh, you know, I want to re-record it like 100 times.
Watching it.
I used to not be that. I used to just like when I used to do videos, I would just like click record, talk, post, okay, whatever. But now doing this podcast and having to do shorter form content, I am editing. So when I did this video, I was like, oh my gosh, now I want to reshoot it. I want to reshoot it. And what is wild about that? So it's pre-recorded, but you can't have any editing, can't have any filters. So there's a lot of like strict rules on it. So I'm like, wait, okay, so let me just re-record it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, 10 re-records. I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing this anymore. Like this is it.
Okay, so what is it's Petite
America.
World America. Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you mind me asking? Like, how did you find them? What like?
So after I did Petite USA this year, and I placed top 10, and I got the Sisterhood Award. I had so much fun. I really loved it, but I wanted more experience because I can go run a 5K like every weekend, or, you know, I can run multiple marathons a year. But then I'm like, one pageant a year, okay. So my coach said, well, let's find some others. That way you can get some more experience, see what other systems are like. You know, I know you like this one, but just see what else is out there. So I'm like, oh, well, there's this website where I can like pay like $5. It's supposed to give you a whole list, but you put in like that you're married and your age and these things. And the list wasn't that great. So I was still filtering through, but the director had actually reached out to me for this one. And when I looked into it, I thought, oh my goodness, one of my husband's buddies he used to compete with for the Navy. I was like, she won this one. So then I reached out to her and was like, hey, what was your experience? And she was like, 100% recommend. You should definitely do it. So I said, okay. So I signed up like 3 weeks out.
I was going to say, I felt like it was a quick.
Yes, it was not planned. It was a quick turnaround. I actually had a different pageant system in mind, which wouldn't have happened for a few months later. But I was like, okay, well, we're just going to go for it, I guess. So yeah, like 2.5, 3 weeks out. It was something super quick like that. And I went, and like you were saying, the growth in it, right? For me, I talked to my coach about this like at the very beginning when I started this, is the crown wasn't winning. So what are your wins outside the crown? So I had this whole list of things like, these are going to be my wins. I'm going to go, I'm going to have this experience, I'm going to network, I'm going to meet these people and do these things. And it's going to be great. And then I won the petite title, and I thought, oh shoot, I actually won. Like, this wasn't on my bingo card for this pageant, So it was really cool. But I did have a conversation with a girl on the bus on our way to the competition. And she had said, well, if I don't win, I know it's rigged. And I said, well, honey, you've already lost then.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, like, why would you say that? And I'm like, because pageants are subjective, right? Mm-hmm. Is we get to see our growth. We get to see the growth of our friends, but those judges only see us, like you said, those 30 seconds in activewear, 30 seconds in evening gown. And for Petite USA, it's 3 minutes an interview. Like, they only get that little bit of us. But we get to see each other, and we get to see ourselves, and our family gets to see us and see how much we've grown and gained from this. And those are like the real wins that I love getting to see, and I love getting to support. So I'm excited to have a national title. It was an accident.
Congratulations. Like, that's amazing. So when do you crown your successor?
So they do a joint. So it's the World's America and World's International compete at the same time. So what's cool is that next year I'll go back, and it's in August. So they'll be running both competitions at the same time. But then when we do our final competition evening gown, the girls going for the America title will go first, and then those of us going for the international title will go next. So I will actually be able to be there to crown my successor. So that's a really cool part of it too, because then you get to see all of it at the same time. And then you're really getting to collaborate and network with both groups, the women competing for the American title, but also all these women competing for the international title, because you're all around at the same time. And it was just a really cool, fun experience.
That's awesome. I loved the photo shoots, like all the little, like all your posts. I think I messaged you. I was like, I'm having so much fun watching you.
There was definitely a ton of optionals. We actually talked about this in another podcast episode, where with pageants, and not all pageants have optional competitions. So like Petite USA has the state costume. And then for World's International and World's America, I think there was like 5 or 6 optionals, which is crazy. But yeah, there was this really fun, I called it the beach off, like from the Barbie movie, where we just got to take a bunch of pictures on the beach and have fun. And it was like something like riptide coming in and lightning in the background, but we totally made it all work.
I love it. That's awesome. That's so cool. And well, when you were at Petite USA, you were Oklahoma, and you had some sister queens this past year, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm trying to get, okay, if anyone's listening this from the state of Wisconsin and you were under 5'6", I want to go to Petite USA with a Wisconsin squad, I thought it was so cute, like seeing like you and your Oklahoma team, and then like I saw like the Missouri team. Like, it was just so nice to see like the groups of states.
Yeah, especially when you don't have a state level. It's really cool. So I was like, yes, Wisconsin. I actually met, so the 2 of the Oklahoma girls I met through Petite USA. One of them I had reached out to. I think she signed up like when it was open, basically, and we talked and stayed connected, and she was even on my podcast. And then another girl I've reached out to and kind of connected her, but one of the girls I recruited specifically, I had gone and given a talk about social media. So like, as a business owner, how do I operate in social media? What is like the positive side of it, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, she was a student in the class.
Oh,
And
awesome.
he says, you straight up dared me to do it. So I did it. And it was really cool. So then I was like, oh my goodness. And I had gotten a teen recruited because she was supposed to be in another system, but she had two contests that were conflicting. And one won out. So I said, well, hey, how about you come to this one? But it was about a month out, I want to say, maybe 2 months out. So her mom said, you know what? We really want to do this. We love that you introduced us to us, but we're going to wait till next year. I was like, oh, we were so close to having a full team.
Oh.
But I hope she's still signed up because I really, truly believe that Petite USA is a great experience and you meet so many amazing women doing amazing work and you get to hear so many amazing stories. And like, there's never enough time. I'm like, can we get a couple extra days? Can we do some, like speed dating while we're here?
No, it's so true. And I think Gina and I are gonna go like a day before, and just because like there's so much the first day, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
with the check in and you get your hair and makeup done, and I'm like, okay, so let's go a day before and just breathe.
That's what I did this last year. My anxiety is like highly triggered by being late or even just the fear of being late. So I was like, I'm going in a whole day early. I'm just going to like chill, be settled in. I'll be fine. Drinking my Starbucks as girls come in saying, hey. But spoiler alert, I may or may not be there.
Why?
But not competing. So, ooh, I may
I
see.
would love to see you.
So yeah, I'm really excited to still be able to kind of support and be able to watch you guys compete. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
Yay!
because we've got to talk a lot about how we've met all these amazing women, and one of the amazing things you're doing is also helping the world meet amazing women through your Petite Professionals. So I'd love to give us a little bit of time to talk more about that.
Yes, thank you. So I started Petite Professionals. There's a story behind it. My husband and I had a game night. So we had a couple buddies over playing some board games, and one of his, like, some people were leaving, and like you're just chatting about how the night went. And I was like, hey, what does so and so do for a living? And my husband was like, I don't know. And I was like, how do you not know? You've been friends with him for years. He's like, well, I don't know. We don't talk about work. And I was like, what? I can tell you what all my friends do for jobs. I can tell you about their recent promotions. I can tell you what drives them. My best friend and I, we became friends because we would go to sushi on Tuesdays and just talk about work and about like our growth plans. So I was like, I just genuinely love hearing what drives someone and their career journey. And think about it, what you do for a job, you're there, 40 to 50 hours a week typically, and that's a lot of time and a lot of energy. So why did you pick that, and what got you there? Because everyone's journey looks a little different, and I think you can learn a lot from people's life experiences. So on Petite Professionals, I always ask, how did you get to this career? What was your experience and your education? And then what's something you wish you would have known before getting into the career? So I've been able to have quite a wide variety of petite professionals on there. I've had a funeral home director, I've had a nurse, a lawyer, a baker, just quite an awesome variety of careers.
I love that so much. I'm really excited to be a future guest on as well. And I think it's a great point that you make is that people choose this 40 hours plus sometimes a week to work in a career, and you end up, for a lot of people, if you're working out of the home, you're working with a team or a group of people, I guess in any capacity, whether out of the home or in the home, but you're spending a lot of your life with these other people. So that is such a cool question and an interesting way to be able to get to know someone rather than just like, hey, what do you do? I love going to networking questions and asking off the wall questions. Like, what was the last movie you've seen? Or what is your favorite animal? That's one of my just natural things I love to learn about people. Is, finding out more about the person and less just about the job. So I love that insight of like finding out about the person. Like, yeah, you do this job, but like, why do you do this job? What is your passion behind this? That's really awesome. So we'll have
Thank
those
you.
links too for people to be able to check you out and all
Awesome.
the
Thank
other
you.
petite professionals out there.
Thank you. Yeah, there was signs I was going to be a therapist, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
let me interview and find out why you do the things you do and post it on YouTube.
yeah. Easy, easy. No big deal.
But yeah, so I've been doing that now for about 2 years. And then I started a new segment called Petite Professionals Presents Pageant Office Hours because I was starting to interview a lot of title holders and we would start talking about pageants, which I love talking about pageants. So I was like, oh, it'd be kind of fun to do like a spin-off where we talk about a different topic or, with pageants as the main topic.
Yeah, I like that. That's something I've been thinking about too. Is like I have a lot of people who we've all gone through life, and then we're all making a difference in our community, and a lot just the environment I'm around, a lot of women also compete in pageants. So I think it's really great, and being able to again tell people's stories and also tell the good they're doing in their communities and spread more awareness, because no matter what we go through in life, right, I think most of us are coming out saying, I don't want people to experience what I experienced. How can I make it better for the next person? And
Mm-hmm.
we do that often quietly, and sometimes people don't know. But if we can do it vocally, not for recognition, but for people to help support us, because we're
Well,
really great at supporting other people, but forgetting to let other people support us as well.
100%. So I will post like, hey, I'm mailing 46 pairs of socks to Rhode Island, and I've had family members be like, well, why do you have to post it? I'm like, because I'm showing how, like, this is a way you can give back. There's like with S.O.D.A, there's all different ways to get involved. It's more so just sharing to generate ideas for people, and also it's nice to share content that's not just, you know, negative or what I ate that day. I love seeing that stuff too, like the food content, but it's just in the outfits. But it's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's just nice to show people ways to get involved too.
Yeah.
So,
And sometimes it is something we say as simple as new underwear, right?
right? I take it for granted.
Yeah, I'm going to be thinking about this for probably weeks.
So when I went to community clothes closet, I work for Meyer, and you guys don't have Meyer in Oklahoma, but we're expanding. Not in Oklahoma yet, but we're expanding south. Um, they're really good about giving back to their community. So I think it's like 2 times a year they give, I don't know, like $10,000 to each store to give into the community. And I typically will pitch whatever local domestic violence shelter is in that city. And so I've gotten a lot of money from them, which is really great. But they're so good at hearing about different places and being open-minded. So I took them to community clothes closet, and that's where I found out about the underwear, and I like started crying, and then my the person I was with, he's like, okay, we can give them money. I'm like, thank you. So that worked out for me.
I love it. I feel like we could talk all day about all kinds of different topics, but I know we're running close on time, so I definitely want to give you a chance if you have some final thoughts. Remember, all the links and everything will be included in the bio. So for those of you who want to follow, support, learn, you can check her out there. But I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you so much. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I love what you're doing with this podcast. And if anyone is listening that is 5'6" and under and would like to be on Petite Professionals and want to share your career journey to help inspire others, I'd love to have you. And then if you are looking to get involved with S.O.D.A, I'd love to hear from you too. So, and if you live in Wisconsin and you're 5'6" and under, call me. Let's do this pageant together.
I love that so much. Thank you so much for being on and being a guest and sharing your story and all the amazing work you're doing in the community. And I can't wait to continue to support you.
Thank you so much. I'll see you on Petite Professionals.
Thank you, listeners, for tuning in. If you found this episode inspiring, please share it with someone you never know who needs more light in their life. May this serve as a reminder that there's always darkness in the world. Do not let it consume you. Always seek the light. Please take a moment to do the good old subscribe, rate, and review. Your support means so much to me, and it helps me spread more light and love. Until next time, be kind, be loving, be human, and don't ever let anyone steal your hope.